It's unrealistic to expect that everything you try will follow a straight black and white path. Life just isn't that simple. There are so many factors: how you grow, how you experience things, how your perspective shifts over time. We glorify stories of people who knew exactly what they wanted. And yeah, that's amazing. Some people are wired that way, naturally inclined toward one clear path. But that's just what we see. We don't always know the other parts of their journey, the struggles, the doubts, the moments of pause. No life is a straight line. I've come to realize that our journey isn't linear, it's expansive. It's not just about starting and finishing, beginning and ending. Life is cyclical. It's a constant flow of learning, unlearning, relearning, resting, failing, reimagining, and growing. And that's what makes life rich. That's why it's so important to just be, to live, to try, to meet new people, to make mistakes, to stop, to change direction. Because no matter what, you're always gaining something. You're learning about yourself, what excites you, what drains you. You're gathering knowledge that might serve you in ways that you don't even see yet. Like, say you used to be a teacher, right? Later in life, you might find yourself teaching again. Maybe not students, but teaching in some way, using methods you learned back then when you were in the classroom. Or maybe you'll realize you never want to manage a group of people like that again. Maybe it was interesting at first, but eventually it drained you. And what a shame it would be if you forced yourself to stay there longer than necessary, growing resentful while the students suffer from a teacher whose heart isn't in it anymore. Some experiences are just meant to be experiences. They're not destinations. Experience is the greatest teacher. Take what you need and don't let shame trap you in places you were never meant to stay. As kids, we were encouraged to try different hobbies, different sports. I remember my mom putting me in piano, cheerleading. It's the time to explore and figure out what we liked. If you were lucky, maybe your parents even paid for different activities so you could experiment. But as adults, we're suddenly expected to have it all figured out, to be successful in the ways society defines success. A great career, a thriving business, and if you don't have it all mapped out, people assume you're lost. But maybe that's the point. You're finding your way. And we can't be afraid to be seen figuring it out. Sometimes you'll experiment privately, but other times people, family, friends, even strangers online will witness your process. And that's okay. It's okay to try something just to see. It's okay to experiment, to test a new journey, to check if something feels like a fit. Because it's not final until you decide. At first, it's just a choice to explore. And from that choice, you gather data. How does this feel? Do I like this? Is this something I think I can continue to do? Fill it out and see what works and what doesn't. And then you decide. We get stuck because we want every decision to be right. We don't want to risk being wrong, but that's not how it works. You have to trust your journey. Every experience is adding depth to your understanding if you're paying attention. And I truly believe that without shame and fear, we figure things out so much more faster. But instead, we waste time overthinking instead of just doing. I seen a while ago this guy a psychologist explained what he thinks the human experience is like, and it really resonated with me. I'm trying to remember how he said it. He was basically he drew a picture of a circle, but it was started small, then it got bigger, and just wrapped around each other, kind of like a cyclone, like a hurricane. How a hurricane looks like. It just wish I had a pen. I have a pencil in my car, so it was like this. I don't know if you can see it, but it was like this. Okay, so it's so bright out here. This was basically what he was saying the human experience is like. So I guess as you start you start here. This is like this. Picture this like being your awareness, and like this being you having little to no awareness. So maybe this is just as a child, like growing up. You only know what you know, and then as you experience life and you grow, your awareness gets wider and wider and wider and wider. But the thing is that you still having the same experiences. Picture this experience being like family. This experience being like, I don't know, a calling you have over your life, like a dream or something like that. This experience being like, maybe like love life, or this could be just like things that trigger you, whatever. I'm just making up stuff because I can't really think clear. As you go through your different phases of awareness, you're running into these same things over and over again. Like your family is still your family. That dream or calling you have is still here. You know, love is still here. But as you become aware, you kind of deal with them differently. You have the more capacity, you know, to deal with them better. Maybe you have better tools as you become more aware. So it's like, that's why the idea of us being expansive. This is what I mean by us being expansive. So yeah, I just wanted to explain that. So yeah, as you continue moving through life, you'll keep encountering these same challenges. You'll come across familiar obstacles, similar environments, similar people, similar mental blocks. But hopefully, as you grow, you'll navigate them differently. Because progress is cyclical. It's like a cycle. Growth happens in cycles, just like the seasons. Nothing is wasted. Everything you experience is feeding your perspective, your consciousness, the very foundation you're creating from. So it's not time lost. The more present you are in your own life, the richer the material you'll bring to your work. The more depth, intention, and clarity you'll have. And there's going to be something, it's like, you know, when you're revisiting something, there's going to be something about doing it now in this moment that will make it better than if you had done it at any other time. I kind of think about it like with love. Like maybe you found love at a point in your life where maybe you weren't that aware of yourself. Going back to this whole idea of the expansion, maybe you found love at a time where you weren't that aware of yourself, or just that aware period. So, you know, you're more easily triggered, you know, more likely to self-sabotage. You know, you just ruined the relationship, okay? You may come across love again later on down in your life, whether it's with the same person or with someone else. But now you're a more expanded version of yourself. You're more aware. You're more aware of yourself. Back to the thing I drew. The more expanded version of yourself, the more aware version of yourself is going to choose better. Is going to make better decisions. You're going to choose better. That's one. But two, when you come up against triggers, things that may come up, like something said or something that happened that kind of triggers something within you, or you know, you feel some sort of disconnect, you're more aware of what's going on. You're not just acting like irate for no reason. You kind of pause, you kind of reflect, you kind of pull from these tools you now have from experiences that you've gained. And now you're just like, okay, you may deal with this a little bit more better, more wiser, may communicate a little bit better. So as you expand, you choose better. You also handle things better. And it kind of just goes back to this idea of like through life when you're trying to figure out what's for you. And you're trying different things. You're trying to see what shoe fits. You know, you're doing things. Maybe it's not giving you what you need at this moment. You kind of abandon it. You regret abandoning it. You're a little bit more aware of why you quickly abandon it. Maybe you understood that maybe like, you know, there was things in that you lacked at that time that you no longer lack. You feel like you're going to go into it with a better mindset this time. You will. And that's why you feel so called to come back to it, because you feel like you really necessarily didn't need to abandon it, but you didn't have the bandwidth or the tools or the capacity to handle it the way it deserved to be handled. So it kind of just goes back to that idea of expansion. It can apply to everything that we experience in this life, and just understanding that there's nothing wasted, and that it's okay to come back to things. It's actually in our very nature to come back to things, because like I said, it's all cyclical, it's all in cycles, and we're expanding and we're learning. So yeah, you can't be ashamed to return. Don't ever let the shame of abandoning something or leaving something or quitting something make you ashamed to return, because there's going to be so much magic that you may miss out on from returning. And even if you don't return, it may be this thing that you don't want to return, but understand that what you experience, you're going to use it. It's going to all intertwine. And maybe like I use the example of the teacher, like that, you will use parts of that even if you don't realize now. So just being thankful for the experience, and thank yourself for not staying stuck. I feel like we have to keep moving. The very nature of us is to move and to live, just to be, to just keep moving. Like anything that's not moving, what is the law of motion? Objects that stay in motion, objects in motion stay in motion. Whatever, I forgot how it goes. We just have to keep moving. I think it's just stop. Don't stay stuck. If you don't feel any type of growth happening, if you don't feel like you're expanding from an experience, it is okay to pause or to completely stop. If you stay stuck, you stay stuck. I understand that when you're doing things, it takes discipline. And if you really want to see an idea or a dream through, you really have to learn how to like push through the struggles and the triggers and the challenges. But I also think on the other side of that, what people don't talk about enough is the idea that sometimes you do need to stop. Sometimes you're just not ready for what it entails. Sometimes, depending on life circumstances or just mentally, there's just more work that needs to be done in other areas, and we sometimes don't look at that full picture. It's just this straight like start, beast mode, win, and I don't think it works like that. But yeah, let me wrap this up. I could talk about this all day. Expressing my thoughts in different ways is like my life's journey. I often bounce between writing and making videos, but I'm at this point where I refuse to get stuck in indecision. So I'm just gonna do what feels right, making the choice to just put things out that I feel called to put out, that I love, that's sitting with me. I'm not gonna make this more complicated than what it is. Remember, shame and doubt is an illusion. Just follow your instincts. And usually when something keeps nagging at you, when a thought keeps resurfacing, it's probably a signal, a sign to resume or to start. So just listen to yourself, follow your instincts. Don't let the shame of abandoning something keep you from the magic of continuing. And remember that our instincts are our guiding force in this life. So if you stopped, you were probably right to stop for whatever reason. And if you feel the call to recommit, you are right to recommit. Listen to your instincts. And if at some point you feel the pull to slow down or pause again, listen, trust the journey. I'm telling you, if you just listen to yourself, it will make a world of difference in this lifetime. I made a promise to myself to always recommit to my journey, every time, every way, in every lifetime, to trust my instincts. So here's to recommitting to the journey. I appreciate this digital space so much, and with the clarity I've gained, I'm here again, and I just want to share what's inside of me. If you listen to this whole video, I really hope it helped. If it resonated with you, I love that. If it did, I also love for you to subscribe, all that YouTube-y type of stuff. I'm hoping that these things I put out just reach the right person at the right time. That's my only goal. So yeah, with that, I'm out. Have an amazing day.